What is up, everybody? Now, you've probably clicked on this video because you've got this bloody Artiss 6 straw thing that came in that box over there, and you're wondering what the fuck is going on with these bloody instructions. And look, they're pretty bad. They're one of the worst, probably the worst I've ever seen. But I figured it out finally and got the whole thing put together, and it works. So I'll give you guys the hot tips that you need to know. The most confusing thing is these bloody metal roller things. You've probably got these metal roller thing parts sitting in front of you. The thing to know about them first is that they come apart. They come into two pieces. And the way you split them apart is with these little black tab things. You'll see these black tab things there. Once you slide them out, you'll be able to pull these black tabs down and then pull them apart into two separate pieces. And then once you've got them into two separate pieces, that's when you can start screwing them on initially onto your parts 1, 2, and 5. So just in here we've got 1 and 5 here, parts 1, parts 5, and pay attention because this is quite important in how to put these on. You're going to have 2 screws in here. You're going to have 1 screw. You notice there's a black tab there. There's also a black tab there. So you're going to have the big black tab thing towards the front, and then you're going to have 1 screw in the center of that horizontal metal thing there, and then you're going to have the other screw in the center of the vertical hole there, and you're obviously going to repeat on the opposite side for part 5. The big black tab outside, and then you've got horizontal there, and then vertical up the back there. So that's with the big part, which is what you see here in the first step. And then at a later stage, you'll then, we may as well just note this down for later on, at a later stage, you'll then get the little metal thing and you'll screw that on, and you'll see there's a little metal tab here. You have that almost flush to the front of the drawer. You have 1 screw there in the vertical hole, and then further towards the back past the tab, you have another screw in the center of the horizontal hole there where it's open out the side. So that is the arrangement of those metal things. Quite important to make sure that's right. When you do get it right, you'll notice that the drawers then end up closing flush, which is exactly what you want. The rest of the instructions honestly aren't that bad. There are a couple of notes that I had on here. I did find that some of the pieces seem to be mislabeled in their plastic bags, so keep an eye out for that. I noticed that in this step here, these 2 holes appeared to be facing in this direction on the instructions, whereas when you get to it, you'd notice that it's not really possible for these little pieces here to go in to that side if this piece is facing with the holes in that direction. You'll see what I mean when you get into assembling it, but it does appear like this piece here needs to be rotated the opposite to how it's shown in this diagram. What else? This is really weird, the fact that we've got part 5 here where we've already put these slides on it, but it's not shown in the diagram, so it's kind of confusing, but just keep in mind this is in fact part 5 with the slidey things on. In step 4, there were some screws that were kind of hidden and not shown. You'll see what I mean. They're screwing between 1 and 5. There's some little screws in behind that they're not showing in this diagram. And then further on, was there anything else? Oh, yes. The other thing was the boards on the back, and it's kind of confusing, but I'm not really sure if I've put this on the best way. You've got this board here where you've got screws, but then you've also got nails to chuck in, and I didn't put all the screws in because I felt it really wasn't necessary. It's up to you guys, but it's probably best that you arrange it such that these screws go in not on this white stuff if you can, but rather on this sort of chipboard open stuff. If you're going to align the screws so that they do that, that's probably ideal. If you can't, you can do what I did, and you can use a hammer and a nail to bang a hole into this white stuff. And once you've banged a hole into this white stuff with a hammer and a nail, you can then much more easily screw the screw into it, because it's very difficult to get a screw to just like dive straight into this white stuff. It really doesn't want to go. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Look, the instructions, you've got to figure some shit out as you go. and just make it up, trial and error, see how you go. The worst thing you can do is screw up and have to start again. So that's pretty much it. Just keep in mind that this takes a while. I was at this for what, good 4 or 5 hours, just plugging away by myself, so it will take you a while. So really, when it comes down to it, the most important thing when you're building furniture is the experience, and you'll probably find that you'll want to chuck, I don't know, some sort of music on as you're going. That's probably most important, not how you actually assemble the cupboard, but what sort of music and audio you have going on while you're plugging away at it. So I will chuck some links into the description to the music and other shit that you can get going during your 5 hours or however long this bloody takes to get this put together. Basically, get something going, enjoy, have a good time, and yeah, we'll see what it looks like at the end.